My experience as a young girl growing up in the family that I did, like I didn't have anybody there to take care of me. And so I feel like before I understood that I could not have children, I was like, it gave me hope. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is also going to help with the trauma that I have. I grew up with a mom and a dad, the nuclear family, and my parents divorced, and when I was 11, and my dad kind of stepped out of the picture. He was involved, but not really, present in the way that I needed. And my mom started using drugs, and she's an addict, and so it was very growing up with her, in that space was, I mean, it was horrible, a lot of trauma. And so my parents taught me very poor lessons. Um, and so I was afraid that I would repeat those patterns. And I did, follow that path. And I'm also an addict and I am in recovery though. I got clean, and at a young age, I was 22 when I got clean. And, when you get into recovery, you learn how to do the work. And so in the process of doing the work, it was like, I really do want a family. Like, I'm not afraid. Right. Um, and this is one of the big things for me that I've really struggled with is I wanted to be the mother that I never had. And I felt and honestly, like I what's ingrained in me, and I think what's ingrained in us in as like a society, like as women, is like this reproductive story. And it's like you can heal the inner child in you by parenting your own children. So when people were like, oh, you get to heal that through mothering, I had this idea that like that was the solution. And then when I wasn't able to, when I learned, like my husband and I learned that that actually isn't in the cards, like it's not going to happen for you, it was like devastating. And it was like, oh, so I have to stay this way. You get to heal. You get to have that and I don't. Why? Why am I to stay this way? And that has messed me up. It's still logically, I know that that is not the case, but but I don't believe that. Like I feel internally that like I need to have a child to nurture that wound in me, And so it's very, gosh, it's so detrimental.